It's a given. There's some time in our lives that we will face loneliness. Yet the question is that we have to ask ourselves, is loneliness a good thing? Loneliness, however, has its pros and cons, along with its benefits and disadvantages. We need to be aware of our feelings and emotions and everything around us to what's going on, and to hopefully react in the right way when these situations that we come to face hits us in our face. We need to sometimes feel in ourselves. People will feel lonely for quite a few number of reasons, which may include something like simple social awkwardness and intentional isolation. Some people may even feel lonely when they are surrounded by people because they lack meaningful connections with those people. Everyone experiences loneliness sometimes in our lives, as I mentioned, but it can never be pleasant for some of us. Dealing with loneliness can take many forms, such as including meeting new people, learning to appreciate our alone time, and reconnecting with our own family, and so much more. Here today, I am going to share with you, while you're watching this, a few tips and advice on how to overcome and deal with loneliness on a daily. Hi all, before I begin this also, my name is Aspie Answers. I'm all about creating mental health and awareness, being your advocate and educator based on mental health and autism, taking you all on a journey with me when I'm able to show you what my life is like as an autistic and just a person with everyday different mental health issues, as well as insane this, just other various of content that you may have seen floating about. So if you're into any of these and you want to be with me, join with me as a YouTube family member, feel free to smash that subscribe button on the bottom right hand corner and turn on the notification bell so don't miss any future videos that I may produce out for you guys. Usually I post Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but as I said, this may subject to change. So as you're aware, basically I'm going to be talking about, as I said, about a how-to comprehension guide for you guys on dealing with loneliness, and hopefully some of the methods and techniques that will help you. So there are 4 different methods. The first one is method 1, understanding your feelings of loneliness. Method 2 will basically cover comforting yourself. Method 3 will be getting social again. And last but not least, method 4 will be basically enjoying your solitude. So let's begin. So the very first method, as I said before, is based on understanding your feelings of loneliness. And as I said before I continue, also I forgot to mention that in this is a blog that I wrote, which I'll link in the description also, so that you can follow through what I'm reading with you guys today. In order to make the changes in our everyday lives that will truly help us, we will need to make the time to figure out why we're feeling lonely. Example wise, you assume that you're lonely because you don't have enough friends, or you go out to make more friends. You still feel lonely after making new friends if your loneliness is the result of having too many friends around, or a lack of meaningful connections with friends or anybody for that matter. Maybe consider some of the following questions to help you determine why you're feeling lonely. When do you feel the most lonely? Do certain people make you feel more lonely when you're around them? How long have you been feeling lonely? What does feeling lonely make you want to do? It's a given, basically, also in saying this, basically, that journaling can help us. I journal, or I try to journal every day, be it through my WordPress site or a video vlog, as you can see, through YouTube or some other social media site, just to get things off the chest. Journaling can help us understand our feelings of loneliness better, as well as just our feelings in general. And it's also a great way to relieve the stress and everyday pressures that we're going through. And it can also help us to track down our thoughts and feelings in a way so that we can make it a positive outcome for ourselves if we're struggling in our darkest days, for our journal entries, and look back on it and then maybe hope for the best that we got out of that, right? While journaling, it can also, when we write down our thoughts and feelings, be a good way to at least see how we've progressed in our everyday life situations that we face on the daily, as I mentioned. Obviously, to get started with journaling, choose a comfortable place as an advice for you guys, and plan to devote your time for about maybe 20 to 30 minutes a day to writing. You can start by writing about how you're feeling and what you're thinking, or if you can, you may need to use some form of prompts. Some prompts may include the following: I feel lonely when, I feel lonely because. When did you start first feeling lonely? How long have you felt this way? Is another one basically you can ask yourself in those prompts. Number 3, practice meditation. Meditation comes in many forms and techniques. It doesn't have to be yoga and all that. It can be other forms. As I've mentioned, basically for me, I do meditation in a way of writing down my thoughts. The last step that was just given to you of writing in a journal, versus also basically not just yoga but Pilates and some form of relaxation techniques, be it my breathing techniques and whatnot. But it has been shown by some research that has been suggested that meditation may ease feelings associated with loneliness and depression, because obviously loneliness can come in the form of a mental health state like depression and some other mental health issues that interlap with each other. Meditation has so many benefits to help us mentally and physically. Meditation is also a great way to get more in touch with your feelings of loneliness, and also helps us to start to understand where they stem from or come from. Meditation is a habitual process of training your mind to focus and redirect your thoughts. You can use this to increase your awareness of yourself and your surroundings around you. Many people think of it as basically a way to reduce stress and develop concentration. People also use the practice to develop other beneficial habits and feelings, such as a positive mood boost and outlook, self-discipline, healthy sleep patterns, and even increased pain tolerance. Learning to meditate will take time, practice, and guidance. So your best bet is to find a meditation class in your area if you've got one in your local area. If not, you can join some classes that may be available in your area. Again, if that's not an option, you can do it in your privacy of your home by buying CDs, or also maybe some apps that's already readily available on our phone and tablet to help us with learning how to meditate. Like in suggestion to that, to get started with meditation, the tip here is find a quiet spot and get yourself comfortable. You can either sit in a chair or on a cushion on the floor with your legs crossed, closing your eyes and concentrate on your breathing. As you focus on your breathing, try not to get too distracted by the thoughts that obviously is running through your head. Just let them happen and hopefully let them pass you by. Start opening your eyes, however, observe the world around you. Pay attention to how you feel, as well as maybe as you're in that deep trance, ask yourself, what do you hear, what do you smell, what do you taste, how do you feel physically and emotionally. Benefits of meditation, basically there has been so many scientific based forms of meditation basically that has been proven that is beneficial for our health, and I've only got 12, but there's plenty more benefits. They are as follows: 1, it reduces stress. 2, controls your anxiety. 3, promotes emotional health. 4, enhances self-awareness. 5, lengthens your attention span. 6, may reduce age-related memory loss such as dementia or Alzheimer's. 7, can generate kindness. 8, may help fight any addictions. 9, improves sleep. 10, helps control pain. 11, can decrease your blood pressure. And 12, meditation can be done anywhere. Number 4, consider talking to a therapist about how you've been feeling. It's a given basically on a day-to-day basis that sometimes we struggle, and we shouldn't have to struggle alone. It's okay to be not okay. It's okay to ask for help. Asking for help is a sign of strength and courage for ourselves. It's a sign of thinking of the first step. Okay, I know there's a problem. So it's about acknowledging that there is a problem, and then the second step into that acknowledgement is obviously focusing on what you can do to help yourself to actually solve that problem, not fix it as such, because many people think many things like anxiety and that can be cured, which I hate. I've said a bit of my pet peeves about it, what people say about people with social anxiety and that, which hopefully I'll link in the icon above the end in the description to describe this. But as we know, it may be hard to figure out why you're feeling lonely and how to move past these feelings that we feel of loneliness. So therefore, a licensed therapist or mental health professional can help you to understand and work through your loneliness. Never be afraid to ask for help, or never be ashamed of it when you're dealing with anything on your own, however. Some of the trained professionals can help you get back on track for your full-term recovery. Meanwhile, feeling lonely may indicate that you're depressed and you have other underlying mental health conditions. As I mentioned before, loneliness and depression and some other mental health conditions can correlate to one another. Talking to a therapist can help you understand what's going on and decide on the best course of action of what you should do to make yourself better. If you want to explore why you're feeling lonely, finding a qualified mental health professional is an excellent option. You can try joining a club or so, putting yourself out there to meet new people and making a list of people in your life and reaching out to them. But if those don't work, however, and you still feel stuck, a therapist can help you through these thoughts and feelings. Method 2, comforting yourself. Number 1, realizing that you're not alone. Loneliness is a normal part of being human. Just realize that. It's a form of basically a feeling or an emotion, and we're still only human. But this doesn't always, seem to correlate by making us feel that we're like abnormal. Remember, sometimes this feeling of loneliness is just some form of feeling and emotion that we have once felt before. It's okay to be alone for a time if need be, but the key thing to remember is to reach out to a friend or family member and talk with that person about how you're feeling. As you tell someone about your feelings, you can also ask if they have had these type feelings too. This process of reaching out to your friends or someone that you can trust will help you to see that you're not alone. And as they say, 2 heads are better than 1. So therefore, maybe when you reach out to that friend, they may have something that may help you in their form of methods and techniques on how they deal with loneliness. Maybe when you approach your friend or family or whoever you're going to approach, try to say something like, lately I've been feeling lonely and I wondered if you've ever felt this way yourself. If you don't have a friend or family member to talk to, reach out to a teacher, counselor, or someone that you can trust. 2, move forward. Instead of persistently dwelling on how alone you feel, do things to get your mind off your loneliness. Because it's always better to be busy than just actually dwell on it, because obviously dwelling on it can lead to a lot of bad and dark thoughts sometimes to ourselves, and it can just take a dive of the negative aspects of it. So my suggestion here is for moving forward is maybe take a walk, ride a bike, read a book, basically explore activities and hobbies. Don't be afraid to try new things that you haven't done before, because obviously you may feel good about yourself after doing so. Having experiences giving you a base foundation upon which you can comment in more social situations, thus giving you to talk to more people and strike up conversations that may interest other people and may help them. Keeping yourself busy, also having downtime, is what causes feeling of loneliness to start to creep in, and throw yourself into work or extracurricular activities to actually make sure that these negativities won't take effect. Number 3, do social activities by yourself. Never be ashamed of doing things by yourself, because if you don't have someone to go out with for all the time, don't let that stop you from going out and enjoying yourself or enjoying your company. Because obviously when you aren't by yourself, basically, of doing social activities, and that can give you a time to allow you to grow in yourself, spiritually, mentally, physically, getting to know yourself better, obviously. And an example here, if you ended up wanting to go out by yourself, is maybe if you want to go out to dinner or to a movie on a date, then take yourself out to a movie or a nice restaurant. Although it may seem very awkward to be doing things by yourself that you might normally do with some other person, don't hold yourself back, obviously, is my key tip here. It's not strange to be by yourself and going out doing things on your own. Once you remember why you did these things on your own before, you can also enjoy the activity for itself again, obviously, and whatnot. And suggestion to that, take a book, magazine, or journal with you if you go out to eat or have a coffee of your own. So you'll be occupied when you would usually be conversing with another person. Bear in mind that people do go out on their own for a purpose, just to have maybe alone time or me time for themselves. It's not as if people will look at you sitting by yourself, being alone, and assume you have no friends. It may take some time to get a bit used to of actually lonely or being by yourself, but don't give it up on your first attempts. Just keep at it, even if it does feel a little awkward. Number 4, consider getting a pet. If you're truly struggling with companionship, it is a given that basically, domesticated animals like pets, dogs, rabbits, and all that have been domesticated for a reason, and that obviously, for 1, helps with our mental health, and 2, gives us companionship. So basically, if we do struggle without the companionship with people around us, we can consider adopting a certain animal from a local animal shelter or pet store. Obviously, they had other reasons for being domesticated companions for many centuries, and one of which is winning our trust and affection of an animal can be a deeply rewarding experience for us all. Being a responsible pet owner, however, basically got to make sure you're ready for it, because obviously having our pets basically is important, because obviously it will have responsibilities for us to take care of. Like, they need to be well looked after for their health, versus also basically in the versus of their health is their spade and neutering versus their feeding habits and everything else. But just be prepared for handling day-to-day tasks for taking care of it. Method 3, getting social again. Number 1, getting involved in activities. Try to make new friends, basically by maybe will involve us by having to get out and get involved in everyday activities with people around us. Consider maybe, as an advice, joining some form of sports league, sports team, taking a class, or volunteering within your own community. If you're very shy, find a group for social anxiety, even if it has to be an online community. Look at places like Craigslist, Meetup, or local news websites for activities in your area, or whatever form of website that is deemed appropriate for you. Attend functions with the sole idea of making friends or meeting people along the way. Try to go with no expectation whatsoever, and to try and enjoy yourself regardless of what may happen. Look for activities that interest you and that you enjoy, and that also in groups of people, such as book clubs, church groups, political groups, concerts, art exhibitions, the list goes on. 2, challenge yourself to take the initiative of social relationships. Making new friends often requires us to be taking the first step and invite others out to do things. Don't forever wait for the opposite person to approach you. You should be approaching them. Ask the person if they want to chat or get a coffee. You must always show the interest in the other person before they will show interest in you. However, my advice here is be yourself as you try to make new friends. Nobody like fakes. Don't try to impress a new person by misrepresenting yourself. That may lead to the end of a new friendship before it even gets started. Be a good listener. Pay close attention when people are talking to you. It's important to be able to respond to what the person has just said to demonstrate that you were listening, or they may feel that you didn't even care, or that they just feel like they're being ignored. 3, spending time with your family. Working to deepen the relationship with your family may also help you to stop feeling so lonely. Even if you don't have a great history with a family member, you can still try to repair the relationship. It's never too late to by starting an invitation. And example wise, you could ask a family member that you haven't seen or heard from for a while to go out for lunch or meet you for coffee. When you try to rebuild or deepen your relationships with family members, you can also use some of the same strategies you could use to gain new friends. Take the initiative to ask the person out, be yourself, and be a good listener. 3, be a pleasant presence. Draw people towards yourself by providing enjoyable company. Be complimentary rather than critical. Also, if you can, basically be positive, and bubbly, or whatever else it may be. For a casual comment, don't forever nitpick on other people's clothes, of what they're wearing, maybe some habits they have, or their hair. They don't need to be reminded they have a small stain on their white shirt when they can't do anything about it. They need to hear that you think their sweater is cool, or you like their personality, because obviously, giving us confident boost by just complimenting us goes a long way. Don't make a big deal of it, but just casually mention it when you like something. This is one of the best icebreakers around us, and it builds trust steadily over time as people come to understand that you won't criticize them. And basically, that comes into play of what I just briefly shared. Sometimes connecting with people online can be easier for some people than others than connecting with someone face to face. But bear in mind that online interaction isn't always equal substitution for the face to face connections. Being able to read people face to face is more easier than behind this full screen. However, sometimes online communities can be valuable ways for us to share our thoughts and experiences, or even ask questions to those who are going through similar situations on our everyday lives. Online forums, however, often allow us to help others while being helping ourselves. Remember to be safe online, however, because obviously not everyone is who they say they are online, and predators feed off loneliness. Last but not least, method 4 in this is enjoying your solitude. We need to remember that loneliness and solitude are two different things, and loneliness is defined as when you're unhappy to be alone, and solitude is when you're happy to be alone. So they're the complete opposites. So there's nothing wrong with solitude, wanting to enjoy being alone. Alone time can be useful and enjoyable so that we can get to know ourselves better as a person. Number 2, working on improving ourselves and making ourselves happy. Usually when we're devoting most of our time to other people, we tend to neglect ourselves. If you're going through a period of loneliness, maybe this is a time to take advantage of it by doing the things that you want to do for yourself and to enjoy on your own. This is a wonderful opportunity, and you deserve to be happy and to knowing yourself more as a person. Working out and taking care of our bodies is usually the first thing that is getting tossed outside when we get ourselves busy from a day-to-day lives. If spending less time with other people than normal, try using that time to maybe exercise. If you exercise at a gym, you might even get the chance to meet new friends and maybe a new special someone. Taking time to indulge in a new hobby can help you to overcome feelings of loneliness. Even if you are doing the hobby yourself, you could learn to play an instrument, learn to draw, or learn to dance. Going and learning about these subjects with others help you meet new people along the way, but it will also give you a creative outlet for your feelings and emotions. Turn your loneliness into something beautiful. Cook yourself a nice meal or make baked goods for friends or neighbors. Cooking up a meal is rewarding. You can channel your focus into something nourishing. Considering joining a club to meet other people who enjoy this hobby as well. People oftentimes have something really big that they want to do and 1,000 excuses not to do it. So don't be one of them. Have you ever wanted to write a book? Create your own movie? Use your loneliness as an excuse to do something great. Who knows, maybe it will turn into something that helps others to deal with their loneliness. Turn this, as I said, we are all in control of our lives, and we are in control of our thoughts, feelings and emotions, as well as our actions. What we do with our lives starts and ends with us. We are the writers and painters of our stories. Loneliness does take time to overcome, but using the right methods and techniques, as I've shared with you guys today, we can sure be ourselves if we choose to, by choice. So this quickly ends a quick video, hopefully, for how to deal with loneliness. A comprehensive video guide for you guys. Hopefully you like this. Smash like if you did. Also, just to let you know, and this was written on my blog post on WordPress, which I'll link in the description for you guys. So if you're interested in reading that, feel free to do so. Also, feel free to share these videos around, as well as many others. Feel free to also follow me on my social medias. And all further ado, guys, thanks for watching. Do what you love what you do. Until next time, I'll see you again.